I flew Delta Airlines Delta One class from Atlanta to Santiago, Chile. I visited the Delta Lounge during my layover. There was a line outside the lounge, and it was crowded once inside and difficult to find a seat, but it did provide some food and drink amenities. The plane to Santiago was an Airbus A350, and I was in seat 3D. Now, I've flown international on Delta One a couple times previously, so I expected the Delta One cubicles, such as this, that provide a bit more privacy. But these seats were in a 222 configuration and much more open than I expected. The seats gave everyone easy aisle access except for the window seat. If you are fairly agile, I think it would be easy to step over the aisle person if they are laying flat. But if you don't want the hassle or have limited mobility, then I wouldn't advise booking a window seat. When you arrive, your seat looks like this, with a blanket, pillow, slippers, and amenity bag. Water and a menu were provided on the middle console. The overhead bin space was plentiful, but instead of putting your personal items under the seat in front of you, you were provided with a small cupboard. Since it wouldn't fit my mini wheelie bag, which typically fits, it required me to pull out items I wanted to use during the flight and put the bag overhead. The cupboard easily held my purse, laptop, and a few other items, but was unreachable with my seatbelt on. The seat had a flexible headrest, electrical and USB outlets, as well as a headphone jack for the provided headset. The buttons to operate the seat were on the middle console and were a little tricky. You had to experiment a bit to get them to work, but eventually you were able to adjust the seat/bed to your needs. The console also housed a small space for some personal items and a remote control for the TV. Unlike on other planes, the remote control was absolutely necessary since you couldn't reach the TV screen by leaning forward if you had your seatbelt on. It was tethered to the wall and retracted when you wanted to put it away. As for the amenities, the slippers were somewhat flimsy, but I found them very useful when using the airplane's toilet and was glad to have them over a pair of socks. The amenities came in a pouch and included a toothbrush and toothpaste, a little bag that contained hand cream and lip balm, earplugs, a pen, and a sleep mask. Because of storms and turbulence, the food and drink service were delayed by about an hour. Eventually, we received our meal. I had pre-ordered this halibut, which was okay. The tray table had one of the easiest designs I have seen for getting it out and putting it away, and it was fairly large. As you can see, the leg space was enormous for even the long-legged. There was a bench on the other side that I saw people using as a footrest, but I couldn't reach it when sitting up. Once the meal service was complete, everyone attempted to sleep. One of the advantages of this design over the Delta One cubicles is that you have wider foot space. I appreciated this as I tend to move around when I sleep. There was a small partition you could close for a little more privacy, but it didn't do much, and frankly, I didn't use it. For those that wanted to watch TV, the entertainment was abundant, which I find on all Delta flights, with plenty of options for movies, TV shows, games, and flight info. We were roused about an hour before landing and offered a couple choices for breakfast. Here was my frittata choice. So did I enjoy my experience on this flight? Well, there were some advantages to this layout, including the length and width of the bed, but I preferred the Delta One Airbus 333 jet cubicles with more privacy and the ability to reach your personal items with the seatbelt on. I also preferred the touchscreen TV rather than the requirement of using your remote control. You could also see your neighbor's screen, so the light could be a nuisance if you were sleeping and they weren't. But with that said, I'm always happy to have any sort of lay-flat seat on a long-haul flight. The service was excellent and we arrived on time, so no major complaints. If you'd like to follow my senior and solo travel journeys, please click subscribe below. Cheers!